I arrived at Westbridge University, convinced I understood ambition. My name is Ethan. I was a finance major with a minor in data analytics, the kind of combination professors like to call strategic. I like to think of myself that way too. I believed success was about positioning, choosing the right classes, aligning with the right people, staying just ahead of everyone else. That was before Olivia and Jake complicated everything. We met in Advanced Corporate Strategy, a selective course taught by Professor Carter. Only 10 students were admitted, and one of us would be recommended for a competitive internship in New York. It was the kind of opportunity that could shape a career before it even began. Olivia was precise and composed, always prepared, always calm. She didn't speak often, but when she did, it shifted the direction of the discussion. Jake was different, bold, persuasive, and charming in a way that made people underestimate how carefully he calculated every move. The three of us started studying together after the first major assignment. At first it felt natural. We balanced one another. Olivia's analysis was sharp and structured. Jake could sell any idea as if investors were already lining up. I was somewhere in between, good with numbers, decent with strategy, hungry for recognition. As the semester progressed, the competition sharpened. Grades were posted anonymously but ranked publicly. After the second project, Olivia moved into first place. Jake was close behind. I had slipped to third. It shouldn't have mattered, but it did. Whispers began circulating about the final group simulation, a complex case that would account for nearly half our grade. Someone had gained insight into the evaluation criteria before it was officially released. Not the case itself, just the scoring model Professor Carter planned to use. One evening in the business building, Jake told me he had reason to suspect Olivia. He mentioned how often she stayed late, how she seemed oddly prepared for certain metrics. He didn't accuse her directly, he just let the suggestion hang in the air. I didn't want to believe it. Yet I began noticing patterns that may not have been there before. How quickly she pivoted when discussions veered toward valuation ratios. How confidently she dismissed certain risk models. Distance formed quietly between us. Study sessions became less frequent. When we did meet, the ease was gone. Then Professor Carter emailed me requesting a meeting. In his office he showed me something unexpected. A draft of the evaluation rubric had been accessed using my student credentials. The access occurred through the university's internal network late at night. My chest tightened. I hadn't done it. But I remembered something. 2 weeks earlier, during a marathon study session, I had stepped out to take a call. My laptop remained open on the table. Jake had been sitting closest to it. When I confronted him, he didn't deny it for long. He admitted he had accessed the rubric. He said he only wanted to understand how to structure his arguments better, not to cheat outright. But preparation based on privileged information is still an unfair advantage. Then he added something that unsettled me more. He had hinted that Olivia might be involved because he needed someone else under suspicion. He knew I was already feeling overshadowed by her performance. He had simply leaned into my insecurity. For a moment, I questioned everything, my judgment, my friendship, even my perception of Olivia. The next revelation came unexpectedly. Olivia approached me after class and handed me printed screenshots. She had noticed unusual login activity on the shared study room computers and traced timestamps that aligned with Jake's campus card swipes. She hadn't accused him publicly because she wanted to be certain. She had also defended me when Professor Carter first raised concerns. She said she didn't believe I would risk my future so carelessly. That quiet loyalty unsettled me more than betrayal had. I returned to Professor Carter and explained what had happened. Jake was removed from consideration for the internship. The department handled it discreetly, but his absence from class spoke loudly enough. The final simulation went ahead with the remaining students. Olivia won the internship. I placed second. At first, I felt the sting of coming so close, but over time, I understood something deeper. Jake had not only tried to outmaneuver the system, he had tried to manipulate perception, mine and everyone else's. And I had almost let him succeed, because part of me feared that Olivia's success diminished my own. After graduation, Olivia and I stayed in touch. Our relationship grew gradually, built not on rivalry, but on mutual respect. She once told me that in competitive environments, people reveal who they are under pressure. Some reach higher, others reach sideways. Looking back, I realized university wasn't just about mastering financial models or corporate frameworks. It was about discovering what kind of man I wanted to be when ambition collided with integrity. The moral? Ambition can open doors, but character determines whether you deserve to walk through them. When competition tempts you to doubt others or cut corners, remember that your reputation is harder to rebuild than any resume and far more valuable.